All right, welcome to the program. My name is Dr. Mankota once again. I just want to welcome everybody. Today we get a kind of outside of the box um, conversation with the viewers. Them, this TPN was specifically created for Sierra Leone, but if I remember, once in a while we can talk about international things, especially African issues. So what's not the topic today we'll get for discuss? Well, here you go. Um, a lot of Africans then wake up Sunday morning and with the news for say there was a coup attempt in Benin. Benin now a very small country. Well, it's bigger than Sierra Leone by population because Benin is about 14 million people. Sierra Leone is 8.5 million. So yeah, it's bigger than Sierra Leone, but it's a small country compared to in neighbors like Nigeria. So what happened at Benin? There was a coup attempt, and within hours, the coup was foiled. And now this we want to discuss about today, because within the affects we neighbors affect us too, right? So um, there are so many information about this coup. We probably some of you get more information than me, but at the end of the day, we all get for discuss and see what thing we will able for learn from this coup. When I remember 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the Benin coup, there was a coup where take place na Guinea-Bissau, and that coup has a lot of question marks. And I talk about that coup not directly in this program, but na the TPN group. I talk about that coup day, and then this past Sunday, this could take place. So what's in the rationale behind the coup? Well, in order for us for make we able to understand the rationale behind the coup, we need first of all for look at the country, the political structure of the country, and able for figure out why the coup take place. The first thing we kind of in mind after I hear about the coup, well, why a coup in Benin? Because we've been here say election get for take place next year, April, this coming April, now election get for take place. So why the leaders are not just they wait for the elections and see what will happen? Why now making this coup? It don't make sense, right? It don't make no sense. I get the same feeling and I get the same perception. Then I begin to dig deeper into the situation in Benin, and I begin to realize the rationale behind some of these coups. First of all, me as somebody, I know they support coups because coups na an attempt for divert democracy. Okay, I know they support coups. However, when it comes to Africa, when it comes to the blatant exploitation of African resources by colonial masters like France, and by extension, the leaders of Africa, then sometimes it makes sense for make coup take place for take out leaders they will continue for perpetuate this colonial exploitation while the people still remain impoverished. That's why I supported the coup na Burkina Faso. I supported the coup na Mali and Niger. I don't support the coup na Guinea-Bissau because when you understand the coup wey happen at Guinea-Bissau, you realize the corruption wey African leaders then still get. We'll talk about that, but let me just focus first on Benin. Now, the Francophone countries are going some sort of maybe you call it a military revolution, where they try to take out some of them bad leaders, the remaining colonial slaves, we still believe say their only survival is for continue for sell out the resources of Africa to the colonial masters, places like Benin. Patrice Toulon, the president of Benin, now one of the few Francophone leaders or African leaders we still behold to France influence. Now France, now they tell them waiting for do, waiting enough for do. If France say no give food today to you, daddy, then say daddy, the past say enough forget food today, so sorry. So in one of the few dictators na Africa. Now, I tell you earlier saying I was very, very skeptical about this coup simply because it doesn't make sense when an election is coming, then 4 months to the election or 5 months to the election, you make a coup. It don't make sense, right? But here is the thing where I able to dig out from this coup. When this guy came in 2016, remember 2016, right? I think it's 2016, right? If I not forget. So before he even came to power, this was the guy who in the campaign saying, in wants for make a leader supposed to get only 5 years, one term. The Constitution of Benin talks about 2 terms. But during in campaign, he say he want for make sure say 1 term is enough, 5 years is enough for make you able to do what you want to do at the country. When he came to power, the first thing he do, he changed the constitution. He add the term from 5 years to 7 years. Okay, 5 to 7. So that's now one of the things down there. You see, France is not good for Africa. We already don't know that. Say France is not a good country for Africa. And one of the things where they frustrate me when it comes to France is the belligerence where France they express when it comes to Africans. France believes say Africans owe France. Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, has said this in many occasions. Africans need for thank France. Thank France for waiting. For stealing the resources of France. So you want for make Africa thank you because it is still the resources of France every time. Remember, in Niger, Niger been they sell the nuclear. I forget what are the name of the natural resources where then they use for nuclear reactors. Them, Then when they sell that for an ounce is just like 25 cents. France, they go sell that natural resources there, that minerals there, then 390 to $450, while then they buy them around 10, 15, 20, $30 in Niger. This is the kind of France where actually they eat up Africa. So waiting they go on na the francophone country right now. Now something where, in as much as we know they tolerate coups, we need for take a look and see the rationale behind that. This Patrice Talon, that man, first I don't tell him, I say where he come. First, he promised during the time of the election, the first time, he promised say they make sure say nobody not able to change the constitution for himself, for add more time for himself. Where he come, he change them, he add from 5 to 7 years. So this now in last time, by April, is supposed for come out. But here is the twist behind this. This guy, according to the information we will get, it already creates the environment for make in the one we get for can take from in successor for make it easily win the election, and in successor when in deputy now another puppet of France. In fact, this guy don't jail 2 opposition leaders. Each one na 20 years in prison with cooked up charges. In fact, one of the opposition leader, the lady, it's so blatant that 2 a.m. now India announced in verdict. That's when the people in Nepal sleep. It don't capture parliament. Parliament na rubber stamp for them. In fact, they don't change so many things. We don't create almost impossible for make an opposition able for do anything on this election. The other thing where I find out is they use tribe as a tool for eliminate certain people we know they na in your camp, and it extend that even to the military. People then way deserve promotions. The fact that them people then they're not there na then your tribe or they not support them, they retire them and bring in people their way very loyal to them. Not the military. So these are some of the things where when they go on. Number one, the election is going to be a sham because he already don't create the avenue for easily win the election. So it doesn't make a difference. And the opposition even complained that so many times, but he is now one of the most brutal dictators in African politics. In fact, they say this guy, if you criticize him, like we would criticize Madabi or other African leaders, you na Benin citizen, you did not Benin, you criticize them, it's a treason. It's a crime for criticize the president of Benin. And France, where the boast of the arbitrators or the arbiters of democracy, they don't give a damn. Why France will give a damn? Because France in Africa is never about democracy. These colonial masters, they don't care about democracy in Africa. What they care about, who is going to continue the exploitation. That's all they care about. Because if France care about make sure they're protecting democracy in Africa, People like Alassane Ouattara in Ivory Coast. Look at wetin dey go on the Ivory Coast. That man don't turn to a dictator. It just they do what he want, and with the blessings of France. The same thing with this Benin guy. In fact, at one time, one of the assassination attempts where some of the agent of France been do against Iban Traore. I've been talking about that same. The people them where then train now Benin then train them people then they for come attack that young for come attack that young guy Iban Traore. Benin. Now they then get another center for train how for come make sure say then they disrupt the 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 Sahel independence. Now from Benin. So 2 countries, well, maybe probably 3 countries now, where clearly shows say they are still ready at any point in time for do the dirty work of France, Benin, Ivory Coast. Then I want for bringing Nigeria, and that brings me to the Nigerian role in foiling this attempted coup. Nigeria, the most populated country in Africa. We supposed to say Nigeria is the superpower of Africa. Unfortunately, Nigeria has turned out to be a tool for the continuation of exploitation of Africa by France. Tinubu, he exposed himself after Niger military overthrew the president. Tinubu exposed himself for him. Now the new puppet. In fact, the sad part of this is Nigeria is an Anglophone country. Why an Anglophone country? They become the puppet of a Francophone colonial master. Why? So you see, colonialism is no longer about A and B, it's all of the above. It tells you why Africa is going down. It tells you why Africa is stagnated. The mentality of we leaders them. What think can happen? And this is very, very important. And I tell you the tactics of these colonial masters for make then jam we together. Then they instigate an internal rift within Africa. Because that's what they do. Okay. Now, immediately after, first of all, I just want to say the coup plotters, I don't think say they're serious about a coup because number one, how if you want for overthrowing a president, you not try to get hold of the president first before you go announce. But what you do, they go directly to the media and go hold the media and announce it. You don't overthrow the president while the president is somewhere comfortably. It doesn't make sense. This coup doesn't make sense at all. And no wonder why the coup failed. Okay? But forget about it because it's already done past. But I just want to tell you the implication of Nigerian working on behalf of colonial masters. Okay? Immediately after the announcement by the military, the guys that were overthrown, attempts for overthrow, Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, take phone directly and call Tinubu. He talk to Tinubu. He tell Tinubu say, make sure say, he foil that coup. And this na conversation where we don't know, we not be know at all. You know what that make we know? Now Emmanuel Macron, immediately after he come on, now the phone with Tinubu, that day he go on in Twitter, he go talk, say he just don't talk to Tinubu, and they all don't agree for work together for foil the coup. Less than an hour, we already say Nigerian jets are on the sky of Benin. And not on Nigerian jets no more. France jets, the French jet also, we are seeing in Benin airspace. Then they bomb Benin, Nigeria, a neighboring country, without any invitation, come in and bomb a neighbor, an African country, on behalf of a colonial masters. You see the implication here, ladies and gentlemen? Nigeria, the superpower of Africa, has been captured by French colonial mentality. Tinubu, any Nigeria, I'm not saying all Nigerians are bad people. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Nigerians are people we highly educated. Some of them are very patriotic, and some of them now Pan-Africanist. I know that. But every Nigerian should be ashamed of this president. And I will tell you one thing. Emmanuel Macron, the French president, he deliberately puts this information in public for make it able for tie Nigeria to the event where they go on na Benin. This now one of the tactics of these colonial masters. When I remember the slave trade, the books them where the slave traders they write. Unfortunately, now them books then they some of we been in learn at school because we not get any other history about the slave trade. We not get a first-hand history, a victim's history, a victim's narratives about this slave trade. So the people that were perpetrated the slave trade, now they write the story of the slave trade. And guess what? Most of the blames, they say na Africa man them. Na them be they sell the young company Africa man them to them. You ask any historian right now, if this is true, he will tell you say yes, not true. Now we be they sell, we company brothers them to the West for the slave traders them. So they shift the blame to we because we not get any alternative history. And at this all Africans them, they learn. And not to Africans they no more. The descendants of the slaves in America, in other parts of the world, they learn the same history. So then go to Africa, then go destroy Africa, and then turn back, then blame Africa for the destruction where they make in Africa. And I came in the United States a long time ago, over 20-something years now. When I come, like we Africans, well, before the emergence of this new technology like internet, social media, and all those type of things, we don't connect everybody in the world very close to each other. When we been kind of American, we see we compare black man there, when African American. You quickly they relate on to so. But one thing we I begin realize, those people didn't like us. Most African American and they not been like Africans. Then I can realize say, waiting at the animosity against we, because now we sell their ancestors for make them bring them come to America now. You see the danger here. Now, they not only gain from the destruction where they put in Africa, now then make let we get friction with our brothers then where they are. Where we supposed to hold together. Well, now it's better. Most of the African American they don't realize him. All that bullshit history way them they read in our school, way we have been reading in our school, not lie. You know. So now we get some kind of a colonial relationship. I don't know if the relationship is still strong, but it's better than during the 2000, early 2000 when we came to this country. Yeah. So it's the same tactics Emmanuel Macron do with Ahmed Tinubu, the president of Nigeria. He talked to Ram, he ordered Ram, say let you go to Ram. Then he turned back, he can't expose them. He can't expose them. Now, Africans they don't look at Nigeria like, are you the new puppet of France? Why Nigeria they go bomb in brother just because of France? Because this has nothing to do with democracy. It has nothing to do with democracy. As I tell you earlier statement, Benin is not purely democratic, because when the president they do whatever elect for do, he not care about the opposition, he not care about the people, it manipulates the election, it manipulates the constitution. It's not about democracy. So why Tinubu they send jets for go bomb them brothers them on behalf of the French? Guess what's waiting they go on. This don't create an excuse for this dictator, Patrice Talon, for make it continue for tighten the screws on the Benin people. I will look whether the election is even going to take place in April. They may probably postpone that. Say, the country is not stable, so we want to make sure say we stabilize the country before we make elections. Nigeria, the president we will elect this time around is useless. It's one of the most useless presidents in Nigerian history. I used to know Nigerian president for being very, very Pan-Africanist. That's not the record way some of we know about Nigeria. This is not a shame to Nigeria. And you guys need to do something about this. When I need for speak out, and I don't see few Nigerians and don't speak out because it's just too unfortunate for an African leader for publicly doing the bills of the exploiters there. And not to everybody, a country where all African countries they look up to. So if the biggest country in Africa, now the puppet of France, where are we? Where are we, ladies and gentlemen? See the problem where they go in Africa? This is the problem. And it don't take away, some of we don't know, say, Tinubu not a puppet. Tinubu not a puppet. Tinubu know they try for solve the problems of Nigeria. because we don't see so many protests and all those type of things. He is not solving the problems of Africa. He is trying to continue the perpetration and the exploitation of African resources by his masters, like France. If France now a former colonial master way appreciative of Africa, because we say if you see France the way France did to this home, that's because of Africa. Look at what thing they happen. Now only 3 countries don't come out from France the young control. France don't begin crumble. 3 countries only out of the 15 or so many francophone countries. 3 only 9 don't come out first outside of their control. France is going down. The economy is crumbling down. We know this. And Jacques Chirac, the former president of France, he came out at one point in time during his regime and told them, he said, listen, he said we have to be very sincere. Without Africa, France is a third world country. This was the president of France. Now, in talk this, he said without Africa, France is a third world country. And we just see a glimpse of that. 3 countries just bow out of control. Not even 100% control yet, because there are still some French companies that are operating in those 3 countries. And France is going down. Imagine if Senegal come out, Togo come out, Ivory Coast come out, Algeria come out, and the other francophone countries, they all bow out and say, no, it's enough. France is going to go down. So this is the desperation. And when you have an African leader, they fought very hard to the extent of bombing their young brothers and sisters, for France, is pathetic. It's really, 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 really pathetic. And why am I saying this? Because of it's time for more Africa. When I all know say this program is all about Africa. Why we supposed to come together? Why we supposed to learn the mistakes of we leaders, the mistakes of we ancestors them, and try to change the trajectory. So the coup was foiled, but the scars remain. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, France will never change its attitude on Africa. You know why? They have abused us so much that they thought it's a right to continue abusing us. So they're not going to change. In fact, they feel very, very angry right now. Why Africa try for common and sphere of influence? Why Africa? Why? How dare you? This is why the president been tell we say the Africans and say Africa need to be appreciative. They need to be thankful for stealing with iron ore, for stealing with chromite, with gold, with diamond, all those natural resources. You should be thankful. This is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. This is why Africa need for get education. They need for make sure say then get an education that befits the interests of Africa. And I'm always referencing my own country, Sierra Leone. I come from Sierra Leone, okay? I'm always referencing my country. Why are we so much focused on salon? Because they say charity begins at home. If I'm always talking about Africa, everybody, then my own country is crumbling down, then I don't have any credibility. There's no credibility. So that's why most times the reference is to my country. Just yesterday, one of my brothers sent me a video, a Facebook clip, where then they show the stones, the natural resources in Africa. Then stones here, where would they take for granted? Where would they take, say, but this, then, are nothing. In Sierra Leone, this video was shot in Sierra Leone, was created in Sierra Leone. And they show it kimberlite, and they show you chromite, and they show you other stones and other resources then as alone, from one to another, to another, to another, to another, to another. I sit down, I shake my head. I say, with all the resources here, for the past 65 years, where we don't gain in so-called independence, why are we still poor this way? Poverty is not unique to a single country. Poverty, any country, even here in the United States, there are people who are poor. Okay? But with such resources, with such a small population, why are we still so much poor? Now, because of the NTR. Because the leaders are still tied to the colonial masters, and the colonial masters believes that then they still control we, irrespective of the fact, say, every year we celebrate with independence. Then they always laugh with. Look at the foolish people. Every year they celebrate with independence. But just look at what is going on. So you see, we have a long way to go when it comes to awareness. We have a long way to go. The mentality of Africans, especially we leaders them, is very, very rotten. And not good at all. And the colonial masters are still taking advantage of that. Because one of the things we believe as Africans, we cannot do things on our own. We have to rely on somebody else to do things for us. That's not the mentality. Now that make, when you couple that with selfishness and greed, you get people like Ahmed Tinubu. They go bombing your brothers and sisters on behalf of France, because they believe, say, France is the master and in are the slave. The master orders the slave, and the slave executes the order. See the relationship between master and slave? We still get up in Africa. It's still there. All right, somebody go they can't tell me, say, oh, but you president says he pull out a press release and say this or that. So not to Ahmed Tinubu no more. Yeah, he's the chairman of ECOWAS. Anything way he say he do is in the capacity as chairman of ECOWAS. ECOWAS. That's another institution we useless. ECOWAS is the most useless institution in West Africa. ECOWAS has been captured maybe from the beginning, but now it becomes clear that it was all a tool of the West, a tool of the colonial masters. What do they pay for? What do they pay for ECOWAS? What do they pay for ECOWAS? The masters. The masters are paying for ECOWAS. So you know, expect, say, if I pay for you, I will control you. He who feeds you own you. He who feeds you controls you. It's a very simple logic, very straightforward logic. And now you go back to a little bit higher. The AU, the African Union. I know they read the AU quite often at the media any longer, because it's a dead institution. AU died with Muammar Gaddafi. When Muammar Gaddafi died, AU died with him. Then they were now working that institution. Because during the time of Muammar Gaddafi, now him been the sponsor. He not been the agree for make external influence then come into the AU and dictate. And after he died, nobody know the way they sponsor again. So it falls back to the colonial masters. So for some of we get the hope say maybe in our lifetime we will see some kind of a confederation, if not a federation. Well, the hope was actually rested in the AU. But look at the AU today. It's done. It's totally out of commission. This is the future of Africa. If Africa wants to progress, there's small countries here. Small countries, they need for rejoin each other. Let's have first a confederation, then maybe in the near future a federation. We have one president, we have governors across Africa, or whatever name you want to call them. Then get some sort of autonomy, but everything is tied to the federation. We have one army, and we have a state army. Within America now, they call the National Guard. We have one curriculum that befits the interests of Africa. We have one educational department or institution. That's not the only way, but that's one small country. There was a reason why the colonial masters, before they left them, then separate some of them countries there. Because if they just left Sonomolek, then left, then go, maybe the idea we start for develop could have realized by now, like the idea of bringing Africa together as a federation or a confederation, like ideas of Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, and the rest of the other Africanists, Pan-Africanists. But the West is fighting very, very hard for make that not happen. And I don't think it's gonna happen in our lifetime. I'm still hopeful for say one day Africans will get this disease in our mind for say we have to rely on somebody to feed us and try for take the hook and go now water for go fish for themselves. Like within Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, they paved the way for African leaders. But guess what? A lot of African leaders they hate this young man, Ibrahim Traore. They hate him. You know why? Because he just don't prove say African can stand by themselves. And that's now a problem for some of their leaders. They are always still tied to the colonial masters. Because there is no longer an excuse for say, oh, the country is too small, we're not going able to stand for ourselves, we get for rely on this or that. Burkina Faso is just doing that. This morning before I came to the program, I was watching Burkina Faso, some of the efforts where this guy they do, a tomato factory and a solar factory and all those type of things, agriculture, and you see the efforts. Yes, there are struggles still, but you see the efforts where this guy they make for progress, for developing country. So they hate him. They hate him. This is why you see leaders like Alassane Ouattara and Ivory Coast, they allow mercenaries for kind them places and they for train for can overthrown them boya na the Sahel region. It's sad. Well, we're gonna go now to the let's go to the comment. If hold on, let me put me. If you want for coming now the studio up, hold on. Sorry. If you want for coming at the studio, so I don't put the link for now. I don't put the link for now if you want for coming, or just put your comment. Now the comment section of the platform where they watch me from. Okay. Mm. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What happened with the comments just disappear? What happened? What happened? The comment just disappear. Oh, okay. It's not showing up. Okay, it's showing up here, but not the other. All right. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna have to take a look at this comment. I did see them at the what them call but hmm. All right. Michael Cook say we will call United States of Africa. It will be very powerful. Yeah. Um, first of all, I'm not able to display my comments now the screen. The comments self disappear. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Huh. Yeah, my comments not able for now. I get a new comment don't come in. Why all the comments then just disappear? I they see them now the what them call, but I'm not able to put them at the. All right, let me just try and see. Yeah, look the comment there, but I'm not able to scroll. All right. For the Masari say the well, this is probably the last comment them. For the Masari say the president of Burkina Faso have exposed wicked and failed presidents like Mada Bio, Ahmed Tinubu, and the rest of the rulers. Hold on. Let me log in from my phone. But let's see. Another one for refresh. Now not obstruct the uh another one for obstruct the stream. Hold on. Oh, let me see here. Just give me 1 minute, guys. I just want to make sure I able to read the comments for now. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. All right. Let me pull it. Uh, All right. Una dey hear me, right? I hope so. All right. Now I dey bring in the comments now. It don't populate back. So let's start from the beginning here. All right. Sorry about that. Benny gets this nonsense problem. Okay. All right. For the Mansari say, why ECOWAS hypocrites to themselves? Well, the problem with ECOWAS is now becoming a puppet, an extremely deficient institution. We probably from the beginning, this has been going on from the creation of ECOWAS. We just not be know because we not been get the information. But now it's very, very pathetic that an African country where um, they proud of promoting the interests of Africa is now going against African interests. ECOWAS now the economic community of West African states. Whose economic activities where Africa they do right actually? Tell me. Because the first one when have been the major one where they're supposed for doing for get a single currency. France now they sabotage that effort there. France. Why African leaders are so unpatriotic? The country where they sabotage you now for let una country not go before. Now in una still the support for continue for sabotage Africa. It's bad. ECOWAS is no longer seeking the interest of the people. Now, for the Mansari say, the president is most unserious human being in the history of ECOWAS country. With the new chairman, President Bio, the bootlicker to France and the rest. Now, let's go to Konotri. Konotri say, good afternoon, fam, and happy holidays to all. Happy holiday. Christopher Yankan say, military takeover is not the solution to African problem. Military rule kills civilian, liberates liberties in any country. That's not the theory that one day, my brothers. That's not the theory. And that theory actually falls apart when you look at what they go on at Burkina Faso. How many people they way Burkina Faso leader than they kill? Why the civilians? Then they sleep in the street for protect a military leader. I'm not saying a military rule is better than the democracy, but in a situation when democracy is no longer working for the people, what do you expect for them? Continue for do things where they work over and over. Maybe the military comes in and try for stabilize, then then turn over back to democracy. Because frankly speaking, democracy is not working in many African countries, especially the francophone countries. Democracy is not working. Are you saying democracy is working in Ivory Coast? Is that democracy? The president get the power for change the constitution as he wants and do anything where he wants. That's not democracy at all. So in an institution like this, what do you expect? The people then they rise up. And since the civilians don't get power, the military comes in. I condemn military coups. But in certain circumstances, probably, they are necessary. Look at Burkina Faso. Today, all the democratic countries in Africa, then they envy a military rule. So the idea that military will call now an old adage, my brother. It's an old adage, especially in Africa. There is no need for a military coup in a functioning democracy. No need at all. This was the reason why when I hear they say Benin, because I'm not been pay attention too much to Benin. When I hear they say Benin military them want for overthrowing the president, I was skeptical. I say, well, I mean they're supposed to have get election in the next 5 months. Why overthrow a government where they can't make election in the next 5 months? Then when I begin dig, I realize, say, well, it's not democracy. It's not democracy at all. So the idea that military take over is not a solution in African problems. It may not be, but it's a temporary solution. It's a temporary solution. Why? I don't know. Well, why did you if at all you've been supporting when the NPRC came to power, right, in 1992? Why you support them? Because it's a temporary solution to a chronic problem. Okay, so yes, that's an old adage, but that's no longer apply in African politics, especially for countries or for leaders, the way they try for divert democracy. There is no way we're able to pull them. You know how many time way Alassane Ouattara don't rule now the Ivory Coast? So is he going to just continue until he died and he fix somebody where they can continue, like waiting they try for happen at Benin? I don't know. All right, for the Mansari say ECOWAS is full of useless rulers. These guys are leaders. They are not leaders. They are followers. Because you as a leader, when you always they wait for make somebody give you order for execute the order. You are not a leader. You are a follower. So African leaders are followers. They are not leaders. They are just bullying the citizen on behalf of their leaders. All right, Konotri say, dog, Senegal, Nigeria, Ghana, and the Ivory Coast are all satellite states. Hence, ECOWAS refused to have a single currency or free flow of people and goods. Yeah, because if that's happened, it's actually they undermine the total control where the masters them. Then they try for prevent. See, they were very close, very, very close for get a single currency. Very, very close. Ivory Coast, Benin, Senegal at the time. Now they sabotage on behalf of France. France threatened and say, if that happens, then go pull the African CFA. It threatened them. And what happened? The very name where ECHO has been done, where they call now France go, now the International Monetary, then go register that name there. So when you go now for go say, okay, this is not the name, then say, no, this name is already been taken. It's very sad. It's sad. It's sad. We have a long way to go, my brother. Let's go to Fode Mansari say, Dr. Francis Fall AS country is exposing President Bio and ECOWAS state. France is falling, AE country is exposing Africa, exposing President Bio and ECOWAS state. Well, France is falling down. Recently, I mean, they received France one for go take loan from the IMF. France, they go take loan from the IMF. Wow. It's sad. It's sad. It's really, really sad. All right. Michael Coker say we will call them United States of Africa. It will be very powerful. If we do that, United States of Africa, not US or US of A. Okay. US of A. It will be probably the most powerful country in the planet. Because when we consolidate all the resources together, whether you talk about military, you talk about technology, you talk about monetary, you talk about natural resources, no country not in the planet where you go able for withstand with. This is the reason why the colonial master they don't want Africa for unite. They don't want that. And then the feds, by all means, for make that not happen. Just look at how many African leaders, the way they attempt for unify Africa, whose side they end up. Ibn Traore could have died by now. But now them people themselves stand up and say, we will protect this person. Tell me, right now, Tinubu, for tell Tinubu, say, Tinubu, you are no longer a president, you are a governor. Now we have an African leader. Or tell that to Yoweri Museveni of Uganda. Or that old man, na Cameroon, what's his name? Whatever, because he don't old now, himself no sabi his name again. So una not blame me if I forget his name. What's his name self? Una call his name back. These people are there for their own pockets. So if we get a United States of Africa, where we consolidate everything, the knowledge, the technology, the military, the resources, everything, Africa will be the superpower of the world in less than 50 years. But that could never happen if we not sacrifice. If we leaders they don't sacrifice, it's not gonna happen. Okay. All right, let's go to Fode Mansari say the president of Burkina Faso have exposed wicked and failed presidents like Mada Bio, Ahmed Tinubu, and the rest of the rulers. Yeah. All right. Fode Mansari also say, I'm using two phones, but the one no comments show. Yeah. Yeah, I've been done set to that what they call it. Myself didn't get that same problem there. I don't know what happened with the platform. All right. Yeah, it's okay now. Christopher Yanka say, are you advocating for military rule? Be clear. Oh boy. I'm not advocate for military rule. Is military rule necessary in a situation when democracy fails and there is no other alternative? Because without a democratic process, then how would they end up? A dictatorship. So now, you tell me, you prefer a dictatorship or a military rule that's actually geared to the interests of the people? The idea that you just they say military rule are bad they just take this general statement and just paint every military rule. It's not realistic, because we have military rules that are better than some democratic rules, far better. And me and you know that. I no need for tell you Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, and Mali. If them countries are not to steal and they undermine, there's something and don't they far in terms of development, far. Okay. So there are certain circumstances when democracy fails and there is no other alternative. Because if democracy fails, you know, go say, okay, maybe the next system of governments, let's try communism. It's not going to work, right? So you prefer that the military come in and stabilize and go back to the barracks. And now the young constitution will write that one day. You know that, right? So I am very, very clear. I'm not supporting a military takeover, but in certain circumstances, sometimes they are necessary for the interest of the society. Okay? Am I clear now? If I'm not clear, let me know. All right. Christopher Yanka say there is no civil liberty in Burkina Faso, dog. Dude, I have friends who are Burkinabes. Okay? If there are no civil liberty, what do you mean civil liberty? Tell me. You see the military just they go around and arrest civilians and torture people them. This is a lie. These are the same people where they try for foment some of their misinformation yeah, where they consume just for hate your brother because your brother is doing something that is contrary to this French government. If there are no civil liberty in Burkina Faso, why the people are ready to die for a military leader? Why? You want them to say the Burkinabes they're stupid? They're not stupid. Every single day, then they go lay down outside the president's day, net for just for protect the president. And these are not something that they pay. They're not they receive payment. They do one because they realize that the president is best for the country at the moment. So they want for protector. That president is better than a democracy where don't rule Burkina Faso for how many years. Look at Burkina Faso streets. Look at Burkina Faso roads. Now, all those streets and roads have been constructed by the military. Hey, brah, let we not too much delve into this brainwashing. Okay? Anybody will tell you, say there are no civil liberty in Burkina Faso, that person don't like you. Now, nothing, the way they hide. Nothing. If that government they can torture people, the civilians them, we go know. Especially people that we waiting at the media, we go know. So there are civil liberty. There are certain civil organizations where France they use for spy on the military, for try for exploit the weaknesses of the military. This guy for get rid of her, and some of those civil organizations, then they arrest them. I don't think say that you go tell me say there is no civil liberty. Your responsibility as an organization is to make sure you advocate for the civil rights of the people, not to for exploit the people on behalf of a foreign entity. You are not a civil liberty organization. You are a spy. Okay? So, my brother, so many misinformation they go, and if you not be careful, you become brainwashed, and it's a problem. All right. Christopher Yanka, the NPRC coup did not solve any problem in Sierra Leone. You been in a salon during the time of the NPRC? You been there? Because I was there. I was there. You been in a salon during the time of the NPRC? You know what destroyed the NPRC? You know wetin destroy the NPLC? Tell me that. Or otherwise, you just they repeat some of the misinformation where they go on. But I want you an opportunity. Tell me why you say the NPLC not solve any problem in Sierra Leone. Tell me that. Because I was there, right there. I left Salone February 24th, 1996. 2 days to the first election. Now I get for run away. 2 days to the first election. Okay. So where were you during the time of the NPRC? Tell me exactly. Sometimes some people then can they na Salone, but they know they actually follow within the NPRC been they do. When the NPRC come, they been really want to make that country do. Okay. They been really want to make that country. Freetown was the first time in our own history where Freetown been clean than any time in the history of that city there. You know that? Lights been the car on 24/7 during the first half of the NPRC. Now, when they begin come into them, the same politicians they begin infiltrate into the NPRC, then confuse them, and then try for scatter them. This was why the NPRC implode. But then they come with good intention, and they do very well until the politicians, them, the same folks we talk about, then come the where between them, begin take down, they set fire with the other person, they implode. So I don't know if you've been in a Salone during the time of the NPR show, bruh. All right, Christopher Yankai again. Nigeria has what it takes to intervene in any country in West Africa and conquer it if it wants to. They are a very powerful nation. Oh boy. Christopher Yanka, he still get a long way for go for land. That idea for say they just they go and conquer a country without the people within that country, they don't give that chance there for doing. I think you are dreaming. You think say when they say conquer now for just come and from above you bomb? That's not and conquer. I don't know if you know the mechanics of warfare. Sierra Leone is a small country, so if Nigeria want to conquer Sierra Leone, you know how many troops they need for occupy Sierra Leone? Small country like Sierra Leone, so then you probably need up to 4 to 5 million, and that's then get for lock down the entire country, because if the citizen says no, then the commodity. You have no clue, Yanka. Christopher Yanka, you have no clue. Okay? Look at what happened with Afghanistan. One of the poorest countries in that region there. The most powerful nation on earth. Then fetch them, then do all kinds of, at the end of the day, what happened? We run away. Now we run away in Afghanistan. I'm talking about the United States. We run away. And during the they not even all the Afghans said then they support the Taliban. Now just a cross-section of the Afghan people there we support the Taliban. But look at what happened. We go, we occupy, we them call them run away. At the end of the day, what happened? They begin kill, we like fall. They begin destroy we property them. We military equipment them. It came to a time for 20 years, it came to a time when we realize him there's no longer benefiting to this. We therefore move out. So you don't know what they talk about. You don't know what they talk about anyway. All right, Christopher Yanka again. Military rule is more dictatorial than civilian rule, my brother. To rule by the gun is not proper. What are the differences between a dictator and a military ruler? Can you explain to me what are the differences between a dictator and a military ruler? I dey wait for you for make you explain. All right. Civil liberty means people can express themselves freely in the society. Why we are people forced to join the military because they criticize the government. Oh boy, this guy is actually brainwashed. Definitely, Christopher, you are brainwashed. And I'm not gonna blame you at all. Sometimes we all one point in time then they brainwash we. One point in time, I'm also a victim of brainwashing. In the United States, we get a loaner. I don't know who say it if we did in America now or it is somewhere. In the United States, we get loaner. If we did pan civil, if we did pan war, that make when you turn 18 here, when I came here, that this country, 18 years old, you dey sign a paper for agree say the government can call you anytime for go fetch. Then call out the civil service agreement. Every male at the age of 18, I think to 20 something, they sign that document there. If there is war where they like they're attacking, may God forbid it, they're attacking, the government get the right for force me for good to war. So you are brainwashed, you don't know what thing they go on. Now, I don't know, but a dictator, that's somebody when they allow criticisms at all. So that make I ask you, what are the differences between a dictator and a military? The uniform. The other one, he wear civilian clothes. The other one, he wear military uniform. That's the only difference, bro. Maybe some military people themselves then they give more liberty to people than a dictator. Because a dictator, you are obliged for allow freedom of speech. A military, when he can have power, first of all, he suspend the constitution, he suspend civil liberty. So by default, we know now for say those are the conditions for military rule. But you now, as a dictator, number one, the constitution still apply, the civil liberty requirements are still applied, but yet still he discard all and became a dictator. Now anybody who criticize you, you the jailer. But anyway, thank you very much for bringing all this. We are democratic states. Our civil liberty is taken away from we by this government, by for the Mansari. Yeah, for the Mansari, I tell Christopher Yanka. I don't think say you know what are the differences between a dictator and a civil a military rule. The only thing where they tell me because that man they all gone. Well, the dictator know they all gone for himself, but he get the person way all gone way he able to control. So there's no difference. Okay, there's no difference at all. All right, for the Mansari say NPRC came with disciplinary order in Sierra Leone. At that time, guys was not been born doctor. Yeah, during that time they una not being they're not being born on that time they within the high school. Now, in 1992, some of them are not being born it will be in high school. Maybe Christopher Yanka that time they I don't know, but sometimes that time they not been born is that make it they ask them kind of question, yeah. All right. For the Masai say Yanka is being brainwashed by his godfather. What are godfather? All right, Michael Cook can say we have a dictator in America now. That's a good one. So Christopher Yanka is in America now. You know what's in the America right now? where when it comes to civil liberty, the birthplace of civil liberty is in America. Now, you see ICE, they go around, they go and ask people them for ID card, then they arrest people them without any cause. That's a democracy. This is inside democracy, my brother. So you see what they tell you, say, maybe you have been brainwashed because you don't understand what thing they go on. Okay. It's if I can't say for the man, you don't know me, man. I know you very well. I'm older than you. Well, who knows? Yeah. So yes, well, once again, there are so many ways where sometimes military takeover is tolerable. Places like Benin and Ivory Coast supposed to forget military takeover by now, because they don't flout their constitution many times. The irony here is Alassane Ouattara of Ivory Coast came to power by force because he been win the election allegedly. Now this I get question mark at this time anyway. All right, he been win the election allegedly. Then Laurent Gbagbo, the then president, refused to hand over power. Laurent Gbagbo say no, that they win the election. France, because France now actually sponsor Alassane Ouattara against Laurent Gbagbo, they invade and then they overthrow Laurent Gbagbo. And what's not been the excuse where France been the giving? We need to protect democracy to London. I don't know how to speak French, but then get the funny French way they speak about. We get for protect democracy. This is the protection of democracy. It not get nothing to do with interfering into somebody else's internal affairs. This is about the protection of democracy. Look at the man when they talk about protection of democracy. 4 terms. 4 terms. So with this behavior, if you hear it today and say, because Alassane Ouattara has been overthrown, you go say, oh, no, they're not doing for doing because this is democracy. You go say so, Christopher Yanka. Are you going to say that? No, you say, well, I think it's better because this guy has flouted democracy for so long. That's not the exception what they talk about when it comes to military rule. Okay? So not all military rule, na bad rule. Some military rule na kind of a savior. Okay? Well, I think that's all I have for today. And yeah, today I only go for 1 hour 23 minutes, 24 minutes now. Well, I just want to thank you all for your contributions. Christopher Yanka, thank you very much. I want somebody who they challenge me sometimes. It's very important for me to get this back and forth conversation because probably you know all lengthy we will discuss also starting from today you will begin to sit down and say, okay, hold on a minute, are all military takeover in Africa bad? Maybe you were able to do more. Okay, so I want to thank you. I want to thank Michael Koka. I want to thank Fudi Mansari. I want to thank Konotri, who again that I missed the one that we been able to call, been they send messages. I think therefore people they're actually engaged today very seriously in a very fruitful conversation. So I just want to say thank you very much. And we will still continue for monitor what thing they go on. Oh, I forget to talk about Nigeria, then uh, then playing away Candon, Ivory Coast. What's the Ivory Coast? Burkina Faso. I will talk about that maybe next time. So let's continue for advocates for the unification of Africa because that's not the only way out. That's not the only way out. Africa will never progress when it's fragmented. You get Sierra Leone way now a tiny country. You get Gambia way. Gambia they within a country within a country. You see how ridiculous it is? The effect of colonialism. A country within a country. I was in Gambia. I was in Gambia for almost 4 years. Why don't we just say, you know what, Africa, United States of Africa, let's all come together. Now we open the border. The border yeah, now the colonial master that they actually draw them border. Yeah. Let's open that. We don't have border. Guinea, Sierra Leone, we don't get border. Why you see Guinea now then they try for steal we land? Guinea is trying to steal Sierra Leone land. Guinea is bigger than Sierra Leone 2 times, but still they want for steal we own land. Now because of them borders, they are with them put. So let's eliminate the borders. We call it United States of Africa. One army, one president, one government, one resources, one monetary currency, and we try for create a single language, an African single language, where everybody, not for we now for picking now, where then they're able to speak this language throughout Africa. You go see in the next 50 years, if we will do this, Africa will become the most powerful nation on earth. That's not me on take today. I don't know what thing I you take, but I hope say you go agree with me. Say, without the unification of Africa, Africa is not going to, never able. We are never going to progress. That's it for me. Um, thank you.